It's called the 5-Word Review. And tonight's review of Black Swan is much like The King's Speech in that it is a bit overdue. Sorry about that, guys. So, I'm going to get right into it. I'm going to be doing this in the same formula or style that I did the last one, so it's going to be 3 adjectives that I would use to describe the movie, and then 2 technical aspects of the film that I enjoyed and that stuck out to me more than the rest of it. So, my first word for Black Swan is disturbing. Yeah, it's relatively straightforward, not only in the aspect of what the film is about and the content, but the way it was shot, and there's a lot of camera trickery and a few moments of kind of shock and awe that just really kind of freaked me out. The first one, for those of you who have seen the movie, is where it's very early in the film, where Natalie Portman is scanning the apartment that she lives in, and she's scanning the paintings that her mom has done, and the camera goes from right to left, and right before the camera cuts, one of the paintings like smiles at her or something. The expression changes, and I have the image stuck in my head because it was so disturbing and I didn't see it coming. That really made me jump. So yeah, disturbing. The rest of the film, obviously the concept, it's a bit frightening and something that also kind of causes any artist out there just watching the movie to maybe feel a bit introspective, and could be kind of scary in that aspect that, you know, people can lose themselves in their careers or in their aspirations to be great. Yeah, so disturbing camera work, disturbing concept overall. Not much to say there. My second word is poignant. This film, right from the get-go, I think I can tell Darren Aronofsky knew exactly what he was going for. This is a film about the artist's, you know, aspiration to be perfect, to pursue perfection to the point that one would sacrifice absolutely everything else in their life just so that he or she could have this brief moment of, you know, standing in their light, standing in the spotlight, being able to do something that is flawless, that everyone loves and everyone praises them for. And it really delivers on that. This whole movie, every single aspect of the film, is pointed towards that. There's not some people, I know some people might define this kind of a knee-jerk reaction, define this movie as a horror film. This is not a horror film. Although I'm not sure what to call it. I guess psychological thriller, kind of, because it's hard to give a movie like this a genre, because it definitely feels like a psychological thriller. It has all the aspects of a psychological thriller and a few aspects of a horror movie, but the movie is so much more than that. It's not about, or excuse me, it's not about fitting into a genre. It's about the idea of the artist's pursuit of perfection. And every single aspect, every single shot, every performance, every line of dialogue is aimed toward that. There's nothing that's just there to make the audience go, oh shit, that was disturbing, or oh shit, that was fucked up. Every single piece of this film is there for a reason. And obviously the ones I named before are reasons, but they're there for a reason that entirely, and for the entire process of the film, are there to back up this poignancy that it's about the artist's pursuit of perfection. And in that sense, the direction is just awesome for this movie. Yeah, I mean, I'm not really sure how else to say it. So I guess I'll just move on. Maybe I'll come back to it. The third word is beautiful. And I'd say a big part of that is that it's beautiful in the in how well it captures the essence of artistry, and how perfectly it kind of just grabs the idea of, you know, wanting to be perfect, wanting to be flawless, wanting to be great, and then just stretches it into this surreal fit of madness that can also come with wanting to be perfect. In addition to that, the cinematography is great. The opening sequence is shot very beautifully. The performances are quite beautiful themselves. The camera work is awesome, and just the idea behind it. It's a shockingly beautiful thing. And yeah, Darren Aronofsky really nails it on the head in that aspect with how beautiful it is. So my two words, the technical terms for the film that stuck out to me more than anything, first is the direction. I've said a bit about this already. I really hope Darren gets the Oscar for this movie. Because every single shot, every line of dialogue, every performance in this movie is working toward his vision. There's nothing in here that was just thrown in there for shits and giggles. Every piece of this entire film was directed so masterfully that you can really depict how every shot of the film is trying to convey the idea that the pursuit of perfection can really fuck you up. And it's something he also did really well with Requiem for a Dream. Not so much that every shot in the film was aimed toward the idea that drugs will make you fucked up. It was more that every shot of the film was there to convey what it feels like, or what it can feel like to be on an acid trip or be high or overdose. The whole movie is just one big drug trip, and not in a stupid way, in a very artfully done way, where just every piece of the film works toward one idea, and it never strays from that in Requiem or in Black Swan. So for that, I say the direction is awesome, and I really hope he gets the Oscar, although the camera work actually stuck out to me a few times. Not the shot selection, but the actual camera work, the way that they moved and held the camera. A few times it was just too shaky, and I didn't understand why they went for the shaky cam in some of the scenes. And it wasn't just in the more intense scenes. It was sometimes in the less intense ones. I have an image in my head of Natalie Portman just sitting down in a hallway, and the camera was just shaking too much, and I was actually drawn out of the movie for a few moments because of the camera work. But it was nothing too serious, and nonetheless, I think that his direction everywhere else makes up for that, so I still hope that Darren gets the Oscar for that. So, in my final word, my next technical term that stuck out to me, and this is probably going to be pretty obvious for those of you who have seen the movie and are big on the Oscars and Golden Globes, is the performance by Natalie Portman. Man, if there was a performance this year that I would say deserves Best Actress, without knowing the Golden Globes or Oscar nominees, I would have given it to Natalie Portman for this role. She is simply wonderful in this. Her portrayal, and I've beaten this phrase, this idea to death so many times in this review, but I'm going to keep bringing it up. Her portrayal of the artist pursuing perfection is so accurate and so real. Sometimes, there were a couple times where I teared up a bit because there were, it was a moment where I could relate to it. Specifically, the one where she gets, immediately after she gets casted as the Swan Queen, she runs to the bathroom, calls her mom, and starts crying tears of joy. I cried too, because it was such a just a realistic portrayal of how someone would react to that. It's something that I've felt myself. The excitement of, for me, either doing an audition and then making it into the performance class that was my senior year, or even bigger than that was I did a film for ITS, which it's like a drama conference for thousands and thousands of drama students, and me and my friends who all worked on the film, we got our movie played in front of thousands of students, and at the end they all had throughout the film they had the reaction we wanted them to, the exact reaction we wanted them to, and then at the end they all applauded and cheered, and it was very just one of those moments that you never forget, and something that I think is very relatable to this film. So, my 5 words for Black Swan are disturbing, poignant, and beautiful for my 3 adjectives, and then my 2 technical terms are the direction and the performance by Natalie Portman. So, absolutely wonderful film. If you haven't seen it, if you think it looks like your kind of movie, you're probably right, so go check it out. Best of luck to Darren, and of course Natalie, and the rest of the cast and crew at the Oscars. So, thanks for your time, guys, and I will see you later. Good night.